After a nice Thanksgiving holiday break, the drivers of the Ezra Pro Series are back, and they are at the gargantuan unknown that is the Talladega Superspeedway. The wild card in the playoffs in the Round 4 championship for the Pro and Thunder drivers tonight for Ezra. Good evening, I'm Wesley Outland. Joined alongside is Charles Wooten. We welcome you to coverage of the Ezra Pro Series playoffs. I got 3 words for you, Charles. This is Talladega. This should be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride for sure. This is one of those tracks, you know as well as I do, as practice comes to an end, where, you have friends on the track, but really your best friend is going to be Lady Luck.
Yeah, bottom line, I mean, this is a 2.66 gargantuan facility, and these drivers will use every inch of the racetrack that they can. Make sure we got SDK on for timing and scoring, please, as right now drivers are getting ready to go for qualifying here around the Talladega Superspeedway. And what a field of drivers we have, almost 24 signed in, ready to go, and qualifying is about to begin. We look now at the number 22 of Jake Fluman. There's the 48 of Matt Cherry. And by the way, Charles, he won here when Talladega was hosting Ezra back in October, earlier in the year.
Yeah, he's got a good fast car. He's a good driver. Speed is good, but again, we're going to harp on it a lot here, at least I am, is, having a good run, but having good luck. We saw it Sunday night in the Tour Series, Super Late Model Tour Series for Northwest, that we called it the sucker line, where you got on the outside. You very well could see the sucker hole here tonight, getting in that middle, and if you get in that middle, you're going to get freight trained real quick if nobody's there to help you. We could see some clean 3-wide racing, and if we see that, there isn't going to be a sucker hole, but then again, it could pop up at any time.
Qualifying again underway right now. Stephen Avesi is at the top of the board of the number 12 machine, as we have qualifying on course now for the drivers of the Ezra Pro Series, Pro and Thunder drivers. And again, right now, Stephen Avesi is going to the top of the board. Jason Hand on the racetrack currently. Second is Casey Clark, Jason Hand, and we're watching these drivers now work their way. Stephen Avesi is the Bass Pro Shops entry, number 12, Tracker Boats ATV entry. Toyota to the back straightaway. We're going to see what kind of a lap he can put down. Right now, he's at the top of the board. And again, all these drivers on the course now doing what they have to do to put down the best lap of speed. As you see in real time, the qualifying for Stephen Avesi is now Cullen Johnston will go to the top of the board in qualifying, 51.036. Matt Cherry's car will go now to third as Johnston will bump him. Now Moore will go to the pole. Andrew Moore Jr., the 77. And now, Charles, we ride on board with Cullen Johnston in the number 69 machine.
Yeah, he's got that butt kicker, number 69, I believe. Yes, that is a Chevrolet on board with him. Again, I think his second time is going to be a little bit faster. He's got that 51.036, and that should be enough. If he goes full steam ahead, I think he's going to take the pole here. We'll see. Again, right about here's where you would expect the line to be, but it's not. It is way up here. This is, again, one of those tracks where it's a little bit different. 51.083, and still not going to be quite enough to take the pole, but still a very good time for him.
And currently Andrew Moore Jr., the man at the top of the board in the 51.028 second lap. Here comes Anthony Fitchner in the number 87 Jim Beam colors. His car to the back straightaway here on the super stretch at Talladega, working his way at speed into the third turn. New qualifier at the top of the board. It's going to be Scott Wise now in car number 31. He'll go 51.014 seconds, and he will be now the new man at the top of the scoring pylon. Right now, Scott Wise, Andrew Moore Jr., Cullen Johnston, Stephen Avesius, and Sean Laudison, surprisingly with a good qualifying run as well, Charles, as we see Anthony come through the tri-oval to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and we saw one other person do this. Mayu, he is going to park it right before the line, and that I didn't expect him to do that, but he's going to shut it down and actually leave the track. I figured he was going to try to stop it at the line and get an extended line so he wouldn't be up front, but I did not expect him to just jump out of the car and Ricky Bobby it back to the pits.
I don't understand that. I don't know why they did that for. But anyhow, in any occasion, Scott Wise is currently right now the man that is fast time in the number 31. There goes Casey Clark playing possum now, if you will, in the number 39 machine. He is currently right now in 18th on the board qualifying, but he has not took time yet. As right now 17 drivers have taking time on the clock, and there is about 15 seconds remaining. So it looks like no other takers will qualify. We'll step away, come back. We'll give you the starting lineup for the Ezra playoffs at Talladega. LSR TV and CRN Sports. We'll be back in a moment.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Welcome back to the Talladega Super Speedway. Getting ready for the next round of the Ezra playoffs in the Pro and Thunder Series drivers. Wesley Outlet, Charles Wooten here with you. Hey, before we give you the starting lineup presented by ComServe Wireless, let's take a look at the weather conditions here presented by SawBlade.com. And again, for this final day of November 2020, ambient for the virtual world, 78 degrees here at Talladega. Wind speed at 2 miles an hour. Track temp probably about 30 degrees warmer than that at 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Partly cloudy skies right now, sun bearing over the 2.66 mile. The field begins to grid. Let's give you your starting lineup presented by ComServe Wireless for Talladega. On the pole, quick qualifier, Scott Wise in the 31 to the outside. Andrew Moore Jr., 77, row 1. Row number 2 is going to find the driver, Cullen Johnson in 69. Stephen Evasis, he'll qualify 4th in 12.
In row 3 is going to be the 92 of Edward Jurgen. I look to see big things from him here tonight. And Dalton Tucker in the 2 as he'll start on the outside of row 3. Inside and outside of row 4 is going to be the 24 of Sean Watterson and the 10 of Alec Coates. I kept wanting to call him Alex, but it's Alec Coates in the number 10 on row 4.
And rolling on to row number 5, Trent Barnes in the 1 car. He'll start in the 9th position. Jake Flubin picking up a win a while back at the number 22. He'll be in the top 10. Row number 6 to top 12. Matt Cherry, winner here back at Talladega in October. He will start in 11th. Jordan Berry in the 53. He'll start 12th in that spot.
In row 7 is going to be Matt Jorgensen in the 51. Alongside him, it'll be the 35 of Jim Westerfield. And I'm not sure if we've seen that name before. I don't recall it. So maybe a new driver here in the series in row 7. Row 8, going to be Isaac Mock. We all know him in the 95 machine. And Jason Hand in the 88.
Josh Mayu is the last car to take time of 17. Josh Mayu in the 02. He will start in the 17th position, starting 18th. Charlotte winner, Hank Caston in the 36. Row number 10 to the top 20 starters. It's going to be Matt Lovett, the all-star points leader in the 41 out of Bristol, Tennessee. To his outside, Joshua Saucy in the 81. That is row number 10.
In row 11 is going to be the 87 of Anthony Fitchner. Again, someone else I expect to see moving through this field. And Brian Wirtz in the 82. Definitely someone to keep an eye on. Row 12 going to be the 39 of Casey Clark Jr. in the 39. And 17 of Josh Klinger.
Row number 13 is going to find Casey Knight in the 84 to the outside. The 57 of Joshua Johnson. Row number 14 of 28 stars is going to be Jake Elrod in the 14. Mark Harris in the number 21. And real quickly, the rest of the rundown includes in row number 15, Brett Edwards in the 55. And as well as Art Malign in the number 15. Other drivers or other people, including Jason Wiley, Kyle Ramsey, and Josh Klinger, are not able to start the race. out of 32, 28 will take the green flag. They work their way up the high banks at Talladega. It's 28, 31 degrees of banking, up almost 5 stories tall from the top to the bottom of the apron. From the safer wall barrier down to the bottom, they'll use every inch of the racetrack needed. 3 words. This is Talladega. The Ezra playoffs back to green after a long, quick holiday break from Thanksgiving. And now the quest for a championship nears the home stretch. Here they come through the tri-oval. The start-finish line all the way down into turn number 1 at the end of pit road. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. We're green at Talladega. It's time to kick some asphalt. Full speed underway. LSR TV and CRN coverage of Ezra Monday night. 131 laps, 2 laps in now. And Wise leading the way. Wisely down at the bottom. First 4 cars, single file. Nose to tail, but here comes that 77 machine, Andrew Moore Jr., nestled behind that 31. And Stephen Evasius, he's about to play attack and make it a 3-car nose to tail battle off turn 3.
Yeah, this is more surprising than I thought, Wesley. I figured we would be double file all the way, but those front 3 have they haven't separated, but they've got in a row there. But here comes that outside lane, and remember I said keep an eye on the 92 of Jurgen as definitely somebody to watch, and here he is leading the outside row, or middle row for that matter, and he is going to try to get the lead. Not quite there yet, but he does have the 2 of Dalton Tucker pushing him, and the 10 back there, just a little bit of Alec Coates. Question is, can they get that outside lane going quick enough? And it looks like they can, as he does kind of take the lead, not officially, but he has the lead going down the backstretch.
And look at that 92 car, Edward Jurgen, the Gatorade colors. He'll power his way up the outside. He's got a little help from Dalton Tucker from the Thunder Series. They'll work their way from the top shelf out of turn number 4. Coming through the tri-oval at speed. Putting now lap number 4 on the board. 3 laps complete. And Scott Wise is protecting the inside. Jurgen on the outside. Door to door for the lead as they roar to turn 1.
Yeah, they go door to door, and you know that bottom line's a little bit shorter distance around the track, and you can see it as the 31 of Wise gets that little bit of a run. They were side by side, and then he just edged him out a little bit. But here comes that outside line again. And you want to see a good view of these cars. Let's go to the 12 of Evasius and check this camera out as we go to the left front, there we go, left front. And this is what they're seeing. And yes, that little funky looking thing on the hood is the camera, but we're above the camera. We have our own that we installed on the car. But just the view you get right here as you're watching this. And Wesley, you know this better than anyone. When you see these cars kind of diving out a little bit from each other, they're not looking to pass, really. They're looking to get that fresh air, because if you stay behind somebody, you can definitely heat these engines up really quick.
And big trouble for that if it does take place. You don't want that to happen to you for sure. As right now they work their way up the high banks, back to the back straightaway at speed into turn number 3.
Oh, and I think Edward Jurgen had his chance to try to take the lead there, and unfortunately he was unable to do it, so he has to settle once again for second, now third place. I wondered if he was going to slide down, but he may have thought better of it, Wesley, thinking, this is too early to maybe dive that down there, because he very well could have caught the nose of Wise. And, it's bad enough when you get a big wreck, but can you imagine if the wreck happened this early in the race and up front, you would have wadded up probably 90% of this field.
And by the way, this is a quick week for LSR TV broadcast coverage. A lot of people are still taking off for the holidays of Thanksgiving, as well as by the way, we hope you all had a great Thanksgiving holiday with your family and loved ones. I know it was a busy one. Spent one Thursday at the track, and then or with the family, and then the next day on the road for 3 days. Just got in and announced an iRace with you last night for the Northwest Pro Super Late Models, presented by Joe's Racing Products from Five Flags Speedway, where I will be tomorrow flying. And again, the only coverage this week on LSR TV is tonight for Ezra, the playoffs at Talladega. We have a race that will be for the SMB Cup Series, presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, or 9 p.m. Eastern, actually. And then, as we see this stack up of traffic for the lead, out of nowhere comes the one car of Barnes. He'll take Cherry with him. There's a wiggle and a giggle and a jiggle and a bubble off the corner. Here comes Cherry. He'll put a little punt there on the one of Barnes. Up the racetrack goes Lottison. And while that goes on, they'll slice and dice and move their way through the chopping block trioval and give the lead back now to Wise on the inside. But now Barnes is going to be scored as the new leader. And then, as I was mentioning, race for the SMB Cup Series on Wednesday. We're off on Tuesday. We're off on Thursday. Tentatively, we're off on Friday, but we might have an announcement for race on
that race
Friday.
Is not tentative anymore.
It's going to happen Friday
night?
Yeah,
all
right, there you go.
The Snowflake, I believe it's Snowflake 100 will be happening. We have already negotiated the price, and it will be happening. So we have a little bonus race coming on. Can't wait for that one to get here. And speaking of can't waiting, while we were watching this amazing battle and these guys having a blast up front, someone who's not having a good day right now, Edward Jurgen. He went from battling for the lead all the way back to 13th place. He got what I thought would be the sucker hole in the middle, was actually the outside lane on the high, that third lane, and he fell all the way back, and he has got no help right now.
And Matt Cherry, the Talladega winner from back in October. The first race for Ezra, by the way, that was on LSR TV. He's out in front. He's playing blocker to Sean Lottison. Barnes on the inside, playing blocker to Wise in 31. The Golf Car of Moore peeked down to the bottom as well. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, 4 rows by Noah leading the animals to the arc virtually. As now they fan back out 3 wide for just a hair, maybe more. Give it to Barnes on the inside with the preferred line. The new leader. We're 10 lap in at Talladega.
Yeah, I don't, I obviously, Wesley, neither one of us are old enough to have been there when the arc was made, but I can imagine if they were going this fast, 2 by 2, he'd have got it loaded pretty fast, as we're doing 202 miles an hour when I saw some of these guys top out. So they are booking it around this track, and we knew they would. Ball times, 52s. They're running 48-second laps, 48 ones for their fast laps. These guys are absolutely pushing it around this track right now.
This is the Created by Christina 348 live from the Talladega Super Speedway. LSR TV, CRN Sports coverage. Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten. We're in the opening start of things, as Wise is the man in the good wrench number 31. Back to the inside. Here comes Barnes on the bottom, trying to make a run. 131 laps, 348 miles, just shy of 350.
And, I want to point out here.
Look out, Wise. Little bump there by Moore. Boy, I'll tell you what, Charles, that could have been bad. That 31, he looked so wicked loose in the exit of the corner there.
Yeah, he was really loose, and it doesn't help either that he's got the 77 of Moore Jr. just sit there pushing him. And again, this is where you get in tricky. You got to be extra careful getting through these corners. You know this, I know this, everyone that knows plate racing knows you can push and bump, but you do not do it in the corners. You lift off a little bit. I don't think the 77 hit him, but you can see right there he is right on his bumper pushing him. He's just got to let off before he gets to the corner, and he probably will. But that's how you can spell disaster, is if you get bumped in the corner, you can hook them, you can just get them loose and spin them, and bad things happen there. Is right now that third lane starting to come around again.
Matt Cherry leads. Tucker in second, teammate there to Barnes. Those cars look exactly identical with the exception of 1 and 2. And you see those teammates staying nose to tail with one another and drafting, trying to get around Matt Cherry, and they fail into turn 1. Give Tucker the lead. Assist to Barnes like it's a hockey score off of 2. Cherry battling back on the inside, but Barnes has got that better run, and he's going to give him a little draft push there on the back straightaway.
Now, Wesley, the question for you and the question for all the fans out there watching and tuning in as well, is it's not going to come around at the moment, but if you're the 1 and the 2 right now, your teammates, what do you want to do? This is a big topic, and I like to bring it up when we come to plate track racing like this. If your teammates, do you want to be 1 and 2 in one row, or do you want to be 1 and 2 on inside outside and dominate the race that way where you control both lanes?
My thing is, bottom line, you got to know when to go. And you got to know who your partner is with, who you're drafting with. But bottom line here, all bets are off on that white flag. When we get down to the home stretch of this deal, people that you thought were your allies will soon become your enemies.
That is very true. It makes you wonder why do we use the white flag as one to go? White flag is like peace and treaty. It should really be like a black mixed with a red flag or something. All bets are off at that point. So maybe we
look at Clark.
Look at
Clark. Clark on the outside, trying to go to the lead, looking for the dub, as somebody said in the chat box earlier. And Clark getting a little bump there from Barnes to help him. Cherry now giving some help to Tucker. And I thought he was going to go 3 wide there for a minute. Barnes was in the 1, but he thought better of it. Meanwhile, Barnes paving number 2. Tucker gets some help there from Matt Cherry.
Yeah, Cherry's going to be pushing Tucker as much as he can. Anthony Fitchner in that 87. Again, we talked about him. I told you he'd be someone to watch, and here he is in this front little group. Keep it in mind, look, they got about a 10-car breakaway from the rest of this field. As you go back to Alec Coates in 10th place, and then there's a second group. Wesley, you see this all the time, even in real racing. The second group hanging back here just in the draft, just a little bit, with enough cars they could catch if they wanted to, letting these guys duke it out up here, because if you're going to have a wreck happen, it's going to happen where there's multiple cars side by side, 3 wide, and if you are far enough back, you can potentially avoid that if you do your homework there and stay just the right enough distance to stay in the draft, but not far enough away to where you won't miss the wreck either.
16 of 131. Still a long way to go. Anthony Fitchner leading this pack of traffic now, along with Clark in second, single file. The Barnes Paving family teammates of Tucker and Barnes. Third to fourth, and fifth is Wise in 31, the fast qualifier. Now he's going to get some company from the Talladega winner from back in October, Matt Cherry.
Ooh, and by the way, Matt
look
Cherry,
at Matt.
That was the 31 gave him a little shot there. I'm not sure if Matt came up or the 31 went down, but either way, they did make a little contact. That was Wise and in that 31 machine.
Oh, that was Wise in the 31 and Lottison in the 48 at Cherry, and it could have been bad. I mean, they all respected each other, and they lifted.
Yeah, these guys have got a long race ahead of them. We still have 115 laps to go. We'll make it 114 when they come to the line right there. Again, I love this track because the flag stand is, it's not on a straightaway, but it's straight. It's not in the bend or a curve of a track or a trioval like a lot of the tracks. And that really can determine who the winner is. If you are better coming out of that corner to get into it, you could win the race just off that alone.
That's true. A lot of crazy finishes have taken place by the moves of making those late charges and getting that run through the trioval right about here. Normally, like at Daytona, you work your way off turn 4. Once you come into the trioval, right about now, you're at the flag stand. That's not the case. Add another, 1,000 yards to it, and then you got to fight your way to the start-finish line.
Yeah, it's definitely totally different than any other track out there. Speaking of different, here we got to plug iRacing a little bit because we're on iRacing. And coming on the 9th, I did confirm, typically the builds come out on Tuesday. The new build is actually coming out on a Wednesday, the 9th of December. You know what's coming, Wesley. Big block modifies. They've been highly anticipated. And I can promise you, the day it comes out, I will send you a screenshot. I'm pretty sure people call in sick to work on those days because there will be anywhere from 50 to 200 to 300 hosted lobbies at one time with that one car and the new track that's coming out, which, by the way, is Cedar Lake.
Cedar Lake, Wisconsin, the home of the USA Nationals, another awesome facility there. But yeah, there's going to be 2 big block modified builds. One is going to be for the Super Dirt Car Series big block modifieds, and then there is going to be the one for the 358 modified Sportsman. So those are your 2 big block modified cars that are going to be built, and it will be debuted on Wednesday, December 9th. That is next Wednesday.
Yes, 1 week from today, I believe. If my math is correct.
That's right. 1 week from Wednesday. So one week from 2 days from now.
Yes, that's right. Today's Monday. It's not. I keep thinking today is Wednesday. It is Monday.
That's right.
I don't want to fast forward. I get tomorrow off, so I'm going to try to enjoy that day. But this battle's starting to heat up. Well, Wise back to the front as he's got the 24 of Sean Addison pushing him to the lead. And I would imagine he's going to dip down, but no, he can't do it. The 87 of Thitchner with the 39 of Clark was able to rally back, and the 31 of Wise getting dumped in the middle.
And look at Laudison a little up on the top shelf there. He wouldn't have had some help from Tucker. He might have spun it around. Working their way through the racetrack off turn 4 to the start-finish line. 3 wide behind the leader, Thitchner. Thitchner will now lead. I think that's the 6th different leader in 22 laps so far here at Talladega.
And, I'm very surprised. This league always produces clean racing, but even at Talladega, to complete 21 laps, working lap 22, caution-free, that says a lot about these drivers. They're being very patient, for a Talladega race anyway. The question is, how long will we go caution-free before we see that first wreck, I should say, sorry. And the other question is, how many cars are going to be involved? Because Wesley, again, same thing, as well as I do, there's probably going to be a big one here tonight.
I'm for certain that will happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. So far, opening 25 laps, we have been green flag.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here reading up on social media chat stuff, and we got it coming in there. Comments are kind of low tonight. We don't have Aunt Kathy in here with us tonight. We don't have a lot of people. There's quite a few people tuning in, but not a lot of comments coming in. So the best way to do so, Wesley, let us know where you're tuning in from, city and state. And let's see how far across this U.S. we are going and how many people are tuning in here tonight. But Laudison going up to the high side. He's going to fall back just a little bit as we go 3 wide for about 4th place.
That's right. Still a lot going on. A lot of racing still in this event going on, still happening. As we said, right now 25 laps coming up this time by, almost 107 remaining in this event, 348 miles, 131 laps. And for the most part, there has been a lot of respect given to everybody. Where respect is given, respect is earned, as they always say. And it could be the same thing done virtually here tonight as well, because as long as everybody plays nice, I like to use that word, they're playing nice for right now. You gotta wonder who your allies again are going to be whenever it starts to become chaotic. Yeah, and the people that you help in the early going, Charles, they're going to be the ones that are either going to help you or dump you when it comes down to the end to decide who's going to win this race.
Yeah, I definitely think the key word in there was for now. And I want to point out, this drive to end hunger, that's a very, very good organization. But what made me think of the first thing I thought of when I saw the hood of this drive to end hunger was I forgot to bring my Cheetos in here for this race. As everybody knows, I like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. And then I realized it dawned on me, well, I'm also on the mic tonight, so that'd be kind of awkward to hear crunching of Cheetos. Usually y'all are the only ones that can hear that, so yeah, we don't need to be making everybody hungry with some Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
"25 laps in of 131 here at Talladega. Sawblade.com top 5 as we look at them includes Trent Barnes, Donald Tucker, Matt Cherry, Anthony Fitchner, Casey Clark. Quick break. More from Talladega when we return. Ezra, LSR TV, and CRN Sports.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to cover some Talladega. Green flag pit stops underway in the opening 30 laps. And Charles, very unexpected to see them pitting within the first 30 laps.
Yeah, didn't get a fuel wind on it, but 28 laps completed. We're already down pit road, and a flawless stop for everybody involved, around 13 seconds or so. So no surprise there, but here comes the rest of the field. Next, Wise in the 31, he had problems.
Oh, we got one wrecked in the pit lane.
Yeah, Scott Wise into the inside wall. Oh, and they're still avoiding him, trying to get in as well. Talk about wow, that was close. I believe that was the 51 that narrowly avoided him. And
that wasn't Cody Ware.
Yeah,
That's Jorgensen. That's Jorgensen. It was. Yeah.
take a
Caution
look.
is out. No, we're not under caution.
Oh,
My
and he
apologies.
misses his pit stall too. On top of that,
Oh, my
Wise
goodness.
just not having the day he wanted now, as he was doing good on the track, but came down pit road, and it's like a flip got switched, and it has just gone to places he didn't want it to go very quickly. And through all of this, Casey Clark is going to maintain the lead at the moment. Dalton Tucker behind him, but pit stops just not going the way for Wise. Really about the only one that had issues on pit road. Maybe Andrew Moore as well, only showing a 0.3 second stop for him.
So green flag pit stops underway here, cycling ongoing, 30 laps of 131. We are coming up on 100 laps to go. And I guess it's obvious now. We know, Charles, they've got to at least pit within the next 30-lap window. So we're honestly going to see them pit possibly 4 more times if this goes green flag in a sequence. 30,
Yeah.
60, 90, 120. Hopefully to the finish with those final 11 laps. So at least we'll see 4 more pit stops because we know they cannot go 30 laps.
Yeah, it's a good thing you figured out what was after 90, because I was trying to figure it out in my head and it just wasn't clicking. So I had 30 and 60 and 90, and then after that the clock runs out, so I ran out of things to judge off of, so I couldn't figure it out in my head. But again, there's a reason I'm behind the mics usually and running cameras, but Dalton Tucker out front right now, followed by his teammate Trent Barnes. So right now they got that Barnes paving 1 and 2, literally in 1 and 2.
We ever have a big race, I could be like your not your announcer, but like your statistician.
Yes.
Keep up with lap counts and whatnot.
We'll put it on Facebook, hiring full-time mathematicians to tell us all our numbers.
That's it. Hey, by the way, don't forget, get signed up. There's about 45 entries right now signed in for the inaugural run into the Power Eye Invitational, sanctioned by the Power Eye Racing Series. It will be live on Power Eye Racing TV, of course, Race on Texas, LSR TV, and CRN Sports. And man, I'm telling you what, Charles, it's going to be a good show coming up in December, less than 2 weeks away. December 11th and 12th. Well, actually, I think it's only a one-day show now. December 12th, I think it is.
Yeah, as of right now, with 45 entered drivers, it's going to be a one-day show on the 12th. And of course, we're adjusting payout. We are getting some sponsors to try to come on board. So obviously, if you want to get your name out there, if you've got a company and you want to get your name out there a little bit more, and I mean a lot more really, because it's going to be on Race on Texas. It's going to be on LSR TV, Power Eye's main Facebook page, Power Eye TV, and I would have to look that up and see just how many viewers the Power Eye Facebook page actually has. And doing the math there, the Power Eye TV page has almost 6,000, and the Power Eye general page that we're going to be going to has 16,000 people that are going to be potentially watching that race.
That's awesome.
So
It's going to be a fun time. You got to be a part of it.
Yeah, if you want to be a part of that, message us on LSR TV's Facebook page, and we can get you hooked up for that. But speaking of hooking up, that 1 and 2 right now, they are hooked up, moving. You have to go a ways back to Matt Cherry, and not a ways, but a little bit of ways, as he's starting to reel him in. He's in that draft, but 3 cars when 2 of them are on our team, Wesley, isn't going to do you much good, because they're not going to get out of line and help you behind in 3rd place. So right now he's going to have to be content with 3rd until that next driver can come up, which is Steven Avasius. And when those group that come right there, the 12, the 53, the 77, the 87, and the 22, when they catch that group, they're going to have a full head of steam coming up on 3 cars.
And everybody, for the time being, all staying single file. They just went through those green flag pit stops, besides the scare that we saw happen to the pole car, Scott Wise, who, by the way, now was a lap down. Johnston in front of him, another lap down. Caution was to come out. Free pass would go to Johnston. Jorgensen, Wise, Caston, all a lap down. Malign and Clark 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Wise, too. He definitely wants to get that lap back. As again, back in 25th position. He is way back in the field, and he doesn't have a whole lot of damage. He did not hit that wall hard, but he definitely hit it. Again, I'm not sure if this track is one of them. I would imagine it is. When you come down from the racing surface to the pits, it's a different pavement. We have them where they're asphalt than concrete, and it can really throw you off. Wesley, you've been here. I have not actually been to this track in real life. Is this one of those where it's a different surface in the pits than it is on the track?
Oh yeah. It's definitely a different type of racing atmosphere from the atmosphere. More concrete on the pit lane, if you will.
Whoa, as we go there, and he not bringing out a caution yet. He's off the racing surface. There's the caution for Matt Cherry.
Talladega winner back in October. Goes around for a spin. First caution. Flag. Replay coming up.
I'm wondering if he just got loose, or did the one give him a bit of a shot, as he's right there all over the tube. But no, he was all over the tube's back bumper and got himself loose.
Matt Cherry, what a tough break there for the number 48. Behind Barnes, you see him there, or actually behind Tucker. Barnes is in front of him. Aerial coverage, by the way, presented by All-American Pools. Watch them, Charles, as they work their way through the tri-oval. Cherry right in the middle of that Barnes paving sandwich of Tucker and Barnes. And he did it to himself.
Yeah, he just got himself loose. That's a weird one. I'll be honest, I've never seen something like that happen. Usually when he wiggle like that, you get the person in front of you loose and hook them or spin them out. I've never actually seen a car, get loose and spin their own car out from behind.
I wonder if we could have another replay with the front nose of the 48 car behind the 2, and I think that will tell the tale.
Let's go back just
on replay. Look at this.
So
just at the end of it. Let's try it one more time here.
Try to find the 48 as it's apparently doesn't want to go to him now for some reason. There he is. Again, this is a little further back, so we wanted to do that as we'll go to the nose.
Let's go to the nose camera. There you go. This will tell the story, because it looked like from the blimp view, he made a draft bump, and then he, made a mistake, and it cost him.
Yeah, right there's when he starts getting loose.
See here? There. Costly for 41. But the good news is, Charles, if anything, he virtually flat spotted the tires. No damage on the 48.
Yeah, that is definitely the last thing he wanted to do is get damaged. Flat spotting the tires, well, those can be fixed with some fresh feel goods as everybody's coming down pit road. And to be honest, yeah, I kind of expected this. They want those fresh tires, even though it's been maybe 10 laps on them. And Wesley,
on the pit lane, here's pit stops. Here we go.
And they're starting to roll off, and I've got your favorite camera here.
Woo! That's Evasius. That's Tucker. That's Ditchner. That's Flugman.
They're still rolling off. There they come. They're going to cross the white line, the green cone, and a few more still trickling out. As getting.
Well, you know that at the real NASCAR events, for the real events, they actually have somebody stand there. There is a pit camera that actually records the pit stops. And you see it just like that. There's a pit line. You go there. You actually go to the end of pit lane. You actually stand there behind the officials. There's an official that has a computer, and they literally stand there, and they actually can, like say if there's a 3 wide off a pit lane, they'll actually will go back and they'll hit the replay and freeze and post and, freeze frame it to decide who's the winner.
It is very rare, too, that you see it. But, yeah, I've seen it a few times when I've watched some racing, and you see it sometimes. They'll do it right before they go to a commercial break, and you'll see it, and they'll show it in slow motion as they come out of the pits 3 wide or something. It looks really cool, but yeah, it's definitely a camera we love having. But right now, it is Steven Evasius that is out front, and we are less than 100 laps to go. For considering super speedway, it's actually going fairly quick here with less than 100 to go. 38 complete, working lap 39. And,
it has, yeah.
And the real question is, who's going to be the winner? You know, we said Lady Luck needs to be on your side. I really think this is one of those tracks, you know, that you could just flip a coin, and if that coin had, in this case, 29 different sides, that would be how you could pick the winner at this track.
So caution number 1 is about to be concluded. Cars coming onto the pit lane. Some more taking advantage of pit lane as well. Looks like possibly the back marker cars that are not going to take the wave around. Field getting back assembled. Stephen Evasius now the new leader in the number 12 machine. Jake Fluman second. And you see 4 cars in front of them. Those drivers will take the free pass, Charles Wooten, and they will speed away from the pace car and get their lap back.
Yeah, they're going to get all their laps, or at least one of them back for some of them.
I think there was only one car that had two. There was only two cars that were 2 laps down. Everyone else was a lap down. Now, if you are a lap down and you choose not to pit, you go for the wave around. You do go back on the lead lap, but you got to go to the tail end of the field.
Yeah, and that tail end, Charlie, that's a rough place to be. You know, especially if you're at the tail end and you're on the lead lap. That is a rough place to be. You know, if you get a speeding penalty or whatever, and you have to go back there, you know, we don't knock the back markers. A lot of the time, there's some back markers in a race that are there because they got caught up in a mess from somebody else that wasn't any of their own fault.
That's right.
But
yep.
You know, just historically, the back of the track or the back of the field is where the cautions do tend to happen. But and I say historically, that's not necessarily this track. So it's going to be interesting to see where the big one does happen, from up front towards the middle, towards the back. You know, again, it's a coin toss. You really don't know where the caution is going to happen for the big one.
And the field will get ready to come back for the restart. Elite Sim Racing Association, the Pro Series, created by Christina 380. 131 laps the distance. The field will get ready for the first restart after a long, about 38-lap green flag run before the first caution came out. Pace car eventually will duck onto pit road. And there he goes. And the field will come back to the tri-oval. You see them nestled side by side, at least the first 5 rows. Back to the Geico restart zone. Between the tri-oval into turn number 4. Coming back to the line. There, green is out. Pushing it on the loud pedal goes Evasius on the bottom. He'll carry also Andrew Moore Jr. from 4th up to 2nd. Fluman, Jurgen on the outside lane, and away we go again into turn number 2.
Yeah, these guys are going to get going again. It'll take them a good lap, almost 2, to really get up to speed. But as soon as they do, they will be rocketing back around this track. Again, caution laps, man. They take about a minute 60. Minute 60, minute 59, minute 62 minutes, whatever you want to call it. Nearly 2 minutes to get around this track versus 48 seconds to get around this track at full speed. So these guys, when you're pacing here, it absolutely is just awful to be behind the wheel there. But the good news is you have plenty of time to get damage repaired if you have any from any incidents. So that's good for them. But they are already starting to slice and dice for around 6th, 7th, and 8th place.
Hey, so let's try to fulfill some fans' requests that are in the chat box right now. Why don't we go inside? Casey Clark Jr., let's ride on board with the man of the number 39. Currently on the racetrack in the 28th position. This is just by request. Casey Clark, there he is. We're going to ride on board with him. And this is for King of Jabronis asking, whoever you are. Normally I don't hide behind a nickname, so I put my real name out there. But the King of Jabronis is requesting to see the in-car with Casey Clark, Dub Clark, they call him, in the 39. And currently right now, he's kind of struggling, Charles. He's in the back, one lap down.
From way up leading the race almost to back in 28th place, one lap down. He isn't in the lucky duck spot either. Right now, Matt Jorgensen is. So they have to try to fight to get back by. And for the record, I thought Wesley Outland was your nickname.
No. Oh. No, sir. My name is Wesley Outland. I said I don't hide under a nickname.
I thought Wesley Outland was your nickname all this time.
All right, and back by request, Cody Anderson. That's more like it. Thank you, Cody. He says, can you show off the number 14 full count customs of Jake Elrod? Elrod in the 14, currently in 16th position. And by request, there is your car.
Yes.
Go Bulldogs! Except I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, so, roll Tide.
Yeah, we
Dogs.
don't fault you for that, but what's his name? Black Horse Auto Transport.
Yes.
Oh, there you go on the side of that one, and looks like he got a shot to the back bumper as well. That's the
Black Horse Auto Transport, and the number G, or the number 14 with the G on the front, the Georgia Bulldogs, and of course Full Count Customs.
Did you just call that the
Full
number
Count
G?
Customs. I said the number 14 with the G on the front hood.
I could have sworn you said the number G, and you wanted to be my mathematician.
I'm not very good with letters. Numbers, I'm your man.
There's the
Unless
letter.
it's A, baby. Roll Tide, Alabama.
That's the letter 14.
You know why we say it? You know why we say Roll Tide, right? Because we can't spell elephant. We just say Roll Tide because we can't spell elephant.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a joke for you. I heard it the other day. I was very offended.
Well,
anyhow, there you go. We wanted to give you some love there. Cody Anderson had request.
And, speaking of seeing the car...
He said, no hiding here, brother. I am the king of jabronis.
Well, there you go. If he's a king, we're looking for sponsors. I know King's got a little cash flow, but... just about as I said, look how bright it's getting. The sun is out in full force right now. It did disappear. It went behind a cloud there for a minute and wanted to stay away, but it has come back. It seems like in some of the core, like 3 and 4, 1 and 2, sorry, the sun's going behind a cloud, but here it's nice and bright, and you'll see it get a little bit darker right about here as those clouds are starting to roll over. You can see the shadow on the track, and then they come into the tri-oval into 1 and 2, and it gets really bright again. So, Wesley, as a driver, as you're going nearly 4 wide, how difficult is that, especially here at a super speedway like this, when the track may be cooler in one section than it is in another, going from sunny to cloudy, back and forth like that?
The things that happen basically when it's going from partly cloudy skies to then ambient sunshine and it's going back and forth, of course, on a super speedway, it really affects the handling on the car. So watch the shadow. Look at how they go in the shadows into 3 and 4. You see that? And you saw how loose they got when they were going through the sunshine virtually, and then they go into the corner where the cloud cover is. Well, even this happens in real racing. We always use the word tight in, loose off. Well, when your car goes into the sunlight, it loosens up, if you will. Okay? When you put the cloud cover above it, car begins to want to tighten up. So you got to find a way to be able to hit that car to be free to handle the cloud cover and the sun. Once you be able to do that, then you got yourself a good piece. But right now, we've seen several laps now where you see them going through the sun, Charles, and then they get up there and they get into the cloud cover, and you see how they want to wiggle a little bit? Because it disturbs the car. The car's not used to that atmosphere right now, and they got to balance themselves back around and do what they can.
And it doesn't help anything at all when your car is getting loose and wants to turn on you and go around, and then you have somebody right on your bumper right now. That's Lottison in that 24 machine. He is pushing that 35. Westerfield, remember, I said I didn't recognize his name, a new driver in that 35 machine, and he is running right now in the third place. Again, I don't recognize the name, but then again, I could have just missed it. But Jim Westerfield in third position. But really, I'm not going to say any one driver or two drivers have dominated this race, but Tucker and Barnes have done a pretty good job of getting close to it, as they have been out front just about, I would say, 40 of this 49 lap race so far, as we come to complete lap 49.
And remember, lap 66 will be halfway. And then they'll have 65 laps to go. Right now, 50 laps on the board, working lap 49. Tucker out in front, Barnes in second, Fitchner third. There's that battle, 1, 2, and 3, and the battle behind them. Westerfield moving to third now, on board with Barnes from the back. Fitchner's there, Lottison's there, and so is Evasius. And Wise back in the battle as well in 31.
And I'm not sure that is up on the third lane, but they are definitely getting shuffled to the back. And so we'll switch this camera around just a little bit to the left front as we go on board. And here comes Lottison. He's going to stick it right through the middle, and he'll think better of that. Wise, again, who is not on the lead lap, showing he has still got some speed in that 31 machine. He's going to go drive to the front and unlap himself.
On the outside lane. He had that hiccup on pit road the first time we had those pit stops under green flag. No caution called because it was a controlled caution on pit lane. And look at this. Look at Barnes now, all up under Tucker's car. His Chevrolet looks really loose as he leads the way into turn number 4 through the tri-oval. Back to the Geico restart zone, and here he comes down the straightaway to the start-finish line. From the back now, there's Matt Cherry. He spun earlier, brought out the first caution. And he is right back in the dogfight in the top 4 there, Charles.
Yeah, these guys are just getting a little aggressive now, and you can see all those clouds looking out the back end of this car for Trent Barnes. Inside the car anyway. Just an awesome shot. Absolutely love it. But just some really good racing. A little more aggressive, I think, here after that last caution. These guys know time is going to be running out before long. We're on lap 52 to go to 53. 80 laps to go. Again, 80 laps is still a lot of racing, but at the rate they're going, it's going to be completed fast, and they know they need to be up front. I don't know if you have to be right now, but soon.
Just about 13 laps or so away from being halfway through this event in the created by Christina 385 miles, 131 laps around Talladega. And here comes now Tucker powering on the outside with help from Wise, with Ditchner and Lottison. They're going to try to go 3 wide. They're going to make a new lane on the top shelf. Through the Angels Expressway, 3 wide, man in the middle. Clowns to the left of me, Jokers to the right. Here I am stuck in the middle, the pole car of Wise.
Yeah, Wise not where he wanted to be.
And you notice he has no help, so he had to fan back in behind that second draft on the outside lane. And now he'll weasel his way up the outside and go under Lottison and split Edwards in 55. Boy, that was a crazy move.
Now that was crazy. You know, Wesley, you want to know something that else is a bit mind-boggling, baffling, and just a bit crazy for me right now? That is going deep back in this field. Let's go to 17th and 18th. Brian Wirtz and Matt Lovett. What are these two guys doing? They are way back in the field right now. They're on the lead lap, but they are mired deep in this field. To see those two back here, it makes you wonder, are they just waiting back here right now for a reason? Or are those cars just not handling the way they want?
They might just be lying in the weeds, playing in the back. Ready to go. 55 of 131.
I think they're just waiting, biding their time as we're going to go 3. We almost made 4 wide, but unfortunately the track ran out of space before they could, as they're 3 wide right now. That is for 3rd position, as it's the 48s that is battling right there, and he's going to get a little bit of a shot from the 2 from that Barnes Paving Chevrolet, but they're going to keep it going. Again, I've seen a lot of moves here tonight, Wesley, that almost seem like they would possibly hook somebody, but we haven't seen that dreaded hook and turn somebody into the inside or outside wall.
Just thought of another broadcast that we've got coming up here in December. This is the final day of November, and it will be here at Talladega, Charles, and that will be on Saturday, December the 19th. 6 hours of Talladega. It will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 Central, 6 Pacific. If there's any West Coast drivers or anybody else around the world that wants to compete. And I believe they've already got a full 43-car roster. Team roster, that is. And again, Charles, that will be 6 hours around Talladega Super Speedway. You and me will call that event on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. We'll probably go on the air about 8:45. And how many laps do you think they'll run? They ran over 450 whenever we were at Daytona back in October.
Yeah, that's going to be a good question as to how many laps. It's going to be a bigger track. So I'm guessing maybe around the 400 mark is what I'm thinking we'll run. Regardless of how many we run, it's going to be a long race. And definitely, I hope the drivers come by here on the radio because I want to chat with them. That was a blast covering it. And if you want to hear jokes during a race, about coffee or cheesecake or choking on pizza or whatever you may hear during a 6-hour broadcast, trust me, that's the broadcast to do it. I'm pretty sure I had about 8 cups of coffee before we ever got started. I was up at like 4 a.m. getting ready for it. It was just absolutely insane. Then of course
we actually stayed awake until almost 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
working on announcer notes and stats. Oh, we got one in the wall. 17, and there they go. Sideways, caution, trouble. 4, 5, 6 cars. Pile them in there.
And that started.
Oh no, Tucker's involved.
I believe the 17.
It started with the 17. It started with the 17 car. He lost it. And from there on, it was Josh Klinger.
And you'll see.
On board. Here's your replay. Watch Klinger in 17. Got up under Matt Cherry. Into the wall. Edwards was quickly able to get out of the way. Tucker gets collected. Up and goes upside down. Wise.
We'll have to take a look at Wise here in just a minute as I want to go look here at the drone cam. Wow. I think the 55 may have helped out the 17 just a little bit. Maybe he doesn't like Duke. I don't know. As we'll see. I'm not sure if he made contact, but this will be the tall tale right there. And you see contact right there.
A little bump draft.
Oh, yeah, he does.
He ran out of room. He got up under Cherry, ran out of room and into the wall. Then he turns Tucker. And then goes Jurgen. Fichtner got by. And so many other cars flying through the air goes Scott Wise. Look at that one.
We're going to go 31. Back and take a look at that one.
Right on board with Scott.
Hopefully you don't have any seizure problems because this is about to get wild here if you are Scott Wise. And you see right there, Matt Cherry slides up, cuts off the nose of the 17. The 17 has to
watch
check
and listen.
Up.
Listen to this. Wow. Pirouetting through the air at least 6, 7 times and coming from the top of the banking all the way down to the bottom of the apron.
That is insane. And of course, yeah, we'll have to watch that another time. Pit stops are underway. And no surprise here. Every time we've had a caution, everybody has come down. And also, of course, the fact that we're on lap 59. So this would have been a pit window anyway for these guys.
Pit stops underway. Everybody in the top 15 on the pit lane. Mostly everybody, for that matter, on pit lane. Almost 20 cars on pit lane. Trent Barnes is the first man to exit of the one. Anthony Fitchner, Jake Fluman. There you see Fluman's car, 22.
And you know what's really going to make this race even more interesting than it already was, Wesley? Let's have a look at your leader, Trent Barnes, in the number 1 machine. He had a really fast teammate in Dalton Tucker. He's sitting on pit road 1 lap down after that. So his dancing partner, his teammate there, no longer going to be with him on the track to help him.
That's right. What a tough break there for that number 2 Tucker. And now his teammate, there you see him, Trent Barnes in the lead. Fitchner second, Fluman third. Westerfield, we mentioned him, right now doing well in the top 5. And we are under the caution flag. Approaching halfway. Quick break from Talladega. Sawblade, top 5. Upper left of the monitor, there you see him. Barnes paving entry. Trent Barnes leads the way. Almost 70 laps remaining here at Talladega. More coverage in a moment. Here in Sports, LSR TV, with the Ezra Pro Series playoffs.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland of CRN Sports, one of the co-founders. I'm also one of the announcers on Live Sim Racing, LSR TV. We've recently partnered with LiveSimRacing.com to become the official radio partner of all of the esports events. What is CRN? Well, first off, we're going to be covering esports like it's never been done before with our MRN, PRN type radio atmosphere like you experience with NASCAR. In addition to that, we will cover the Northwest Trucking Cup Series, the Northwest Tour, and of course special events and sanctions like swag and special events like 6 Hours at Daytona and so much more. It's very simple to check out the racing action, whether on LSR TV, on Facebook and YouTube, or by listening. And that's how I want to help you real quickly. Go up simply to the website, wearecrn.com, wearecrn.com, click play, and you are set. It's that simple. We're excited to be the voice of Live Sim Racing. We are CRN. Follow us at crn.com.
Lights are off on the pace car. Ready to get back to green. 60 laps in. 6 laps to halfway. When they come back to the restart, it'll be 5 to halfway. Trent Barnes continues to lead. Anthony Fitchner second. They'll be side by side, doubled up 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 for the restart. Alec Coates is the next car a lap down. We get another caution. He'll get the free pass. A couple of drivers taking advantage of the wave around while we were on break. And we will get ready to go back to green here. Closing in on halfway. The created by Christina 385. Charles Wooten, Wesley Outland here with you. LSR TV, CRN Sports coverage of iRacing and the Ezra Pro Thunder Series playoffs here tonight at Talladega. Back inside the Geico restart zone. Trent Barnes, Fitchner, ready to bring him to the firing box through the tri-oval. And here they come back up to speed. Barnes on the inside, getting the jump. Green back in the air here at Talladega.
And only a handful of cautions. We were actually doing, prior to this race, we were doing the over-under rule. I said over 5 cautions. I think I'm going to be wrong as we, again, have 70 laps to go. We are just about at the halfway point. And Wesley, we have the static cams here. and we're at a super speedway. When we get to the halfway point, you know what we got to do.
An extended kick in the asphalt.
Yes.
Lottison in that 24 car. Throwback to Jeff Gordon's drive to end hunger. Chevrolet. There he is in second. Behind Titchener. Barnes on the inside. Westerfield, Caston also there. They're in their own world on the outside lane. They're going to close in, battle alongside Barnes for that spot. And just like that, where Barnes was leading on the restart, now he falls back to third. Fourth now, Titchener, Lottison, Westerfield, and Barnes now battling for third. And here comes Caston in the mix on the outside lane. The 36 Charlotte winner now beginning to make a move, Hank Caston.
Yeah, Hank Caston really trying to get up there. And that dog named Hank, number 36. You check him out. I believe it's on Amazon. It is little Amazon logo down there. You can check him out. A dog named Hank. I believe it's like treats and toys and all kinds of good stuff for your dog. And, you know, I'm just saying, you got to treat your dog nice. You know, especially now. You're pretty much in the house with them 24/7. But since we're all stuck inside. But, he's doing a really good job right now, and if you look, there's only two on the outside, Wesley, but they're making it work right now. So we got a good run on these three cars on the bottom side. That's the 35 and the 36 right now of Jim Westerfield, and, well, now we're going to have Anthony Titchener come in there as well, but Hank Caston doing a good job on the outside.
And there's Lottison in that 24. And now Barnes closing back in. There's your top five. Look at how close they are nestled with each other as they work their way off of turn number 4 here at Talladega. A little shadow there for a moment. Wow, what a bonsai move by Edwards from the top side down to the bottom. Closing in and closing up under Lottison's car. That was Edwards in 55, the Race Electronics Toyota. 2 laps to halfway. Westerfield leads them down to the inside into turn 1 and 2.
I was checking on some stuff, but right, man, Hank Caston, Westerfield, again, 2 really fast drivers. And Westerfield, I say 2, we really don't know a whole lot about Westerfield. Be interesting to get a chance to talk to him. The one I'm concerned about is Trent Barnes. Again, he had his dancing partner, and that partner has since took a break into the pits. And also Dalton Tucker retired from the race. Steven Evasius also out of the race. They have packed it up to head to next week. So unfortunate for those 2 drivers, especially for, well, both of them. They were up front for quite some time. And wow, did you see that shot from the 1?
Barnes closing off Westerfield. About ran out of room. He'll save it. Will stay green.
Now,
halfway this time by.
I did not see that shot coming, but yeah, like you said, halfway point coming this time by the line.
A very scary moment there just a second ago. Barnes threading the needle, going for a bonsai move from the outside to the inside, cutting up in front of Caston. And a great piece of virtual driving by all of those guys not to cause a car crash. As here comes Westerfield with a pecan. Barnes thought about it, closes in, single file. We come to the line. We're halfway home. 66 down, 65 to go here at Talladega. Logan Detweiler, you asked for it, you got it. Some people call it crank it up. Some call it feel the thunder. We call it kicking the asphalt, extended. Here they come, back to speed down the start-finish line. Hope you've enjoyed that extended kick in the asphalt. And we're still going to do it a little bit.
Yeah, why not? We like that camera angle. I knew it was coming as we buried that one in the track just for you, Wesley. They come going by as Hank Caston out front leading this race. Again, you know, I wondered what would happen, especially with the one of Trent Barnes. He doesn't have his dancing partner anymore, and that is exactly what I feared would happen for him. He really hasn't been able to maintain the lead like he was because he doesn't have somebody there that he knows is going to work with him for sure. As you know, you may have other partners out there, other people you can work with, but nobody's going to work with you as good as your own teammate.
Hey, why don't we change up the scoring ticker as well? Let's put it up on the top and show them some of the new graphics and things we've been working on behind the scenes. I know we are a big fan of the one on the top, from top to bottom, but look at that one. Kind of take a look at some of the cool things we're working on with the new ticker. See the actually car number, the names in full. And the Talladega 131, this is actually created by Christina. 385, 131 laps around Talladega.
Yeah, we didn't get the logo time, so we weren't sure on our, you know, we got our roster and it was a little outdated and it didn't have a sponsor on it, and unfortunately didn't get it in there. But yes, it is created by Christina. What'd you say, 348, something like that?
It's the created by Christina 348. That's right.
Oh, man, yeah. I'm going numbers too. I can remember a 3-digit number more than that. Now you're out of luck. You wonder why I don't like 3-digit numbers on race cars. Because I can't remember that.
348 miles, 131 laps. We're after halfway. We're ready for the second half of this event here on LSR TV. Is here in sports. There's Westerfield. There's Clark. They're battling for that spot. Here comes Stitchner in that battle as well. That's behind the leaders. And they're moving up on slower traffic as well. Look at that slow car. Up on the outside lane, getting out of harm's way.
Yeah, and you have to ask yourself, Wesley, when is go time? When is that time going to come to where, you know, you say, okay, I am done. I'm going to the front. You know, usually I say it's with 10, 20 laps to go. Here, I think it's a little bit different because, you know, you want to have time to get to the front, but you also cannot have time for somebody to make a run and get back by you. So I think it's going to be closer to about 5 to go. Start making your run, because by the time you get it, you don't want to leave enough laps for somebody else to mount a run and come back by you on the outside.
And that wiggle and that bump draft continues as they work their way back through the tri-oval. A little antsy the drivers were for a second. And you see under attack the one to the inside. There's Barnes. There's Caston. There's Barnes behind him. Westerfield. Clark. For people that were asking about Casey Clark, dub 39, he's coming up to the top 5, and Lottison there as well. And behind him is Stitchner, and then there's Edwards, and then there's that 21 car. Matt Cherry back through the field, threading the needle 3 wide. Clark a little sideways for a second. He'll get some help from Cherry. Edwards doesn't know where to go, inside or outside.
And it looks like a little connection issue for the 55 of Brett Edwards in that Racing Electronics number 55 machine. But so far, it looks like it's sorted itself out. But here comes the pack on the outside again, 4 versus 4. If the outside lane can get it together, get tightly bunched up, it is proven here in this race that they can definitely make a run. Even with 3v3 right here, you see they are 2 by 2 by 2, and that outside lane is making moves right now with Hank Casson on the bottom and Casey Clark Jr. in the 39 on the outside, and they're going to go side by side, possibly to the line.
And wiggles up the racetrack. Cherry in 48. Look at Edwards with a bonsai move behind Stitchner. That's that red and black 55 behind the black 87. There you see him.
And
nothing there. Back to the start-finish line. 75 in.
Clark did officially lead that lap. We'll see, but here comes the one of Trent Barnes. Barnes not giving up, even though he doesn't have his teammate out there with him anymore. He is refusing to go down without a fight. And look at this battle. That is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, all right there together. It'd have to be a big blanket, but you could definitely throw it over them here right now. As a shot in the shorts from the 48 to the 39 from Matt Cherry to Casey Clark there.
And while that goes on, here comes Cherry up under Clark. Oh, a little sideways there for a moment. They're going to go 3 wide. Cherry lost behind Clark. Got sideways, went there off the bottom of the racetrack and lost momentum. They're moving by more lap cars as the 15 of Art Moline will go a lap down again. And there's Caston. We've not heard anything from him as far as winning since Charlotte, when he won the 600-mile race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Man, was that a long one.
Yeah, it was definitely a long one. And, again, you talk about long. This one, however, not so long. Been on air about an hour and a half. We've completed 77 laps, working lap 78 as we're about to complete it. As we come 53 laps to go. Again, just a great race so far. Give me just a few cautions to go with it. So for a super speedway race and to not have but 2-3 cautions, again, impressive, and shows the skill set of these drivers and how this series works, moving from the Thunder series, which is like the development series, to the Pro series. It definitely is paying off here for the Elite Sim Racing Association.
You see that new ticker showing the full field rundown, and you're watching the battles for the lead, moving by lap traffic. Here comes another one. Matter of fact, in the last 20 laps, that car that just got past, it looks like a modified, has been lapped 2 times. Caston holds its line. He leads. You've got 2 packs trying to make it 3 if the top 2 can separate. Westerfield in front of this battle behind Lonnison and Edwards in the top 5. Clark and Titchener right there in the 39 and 87. Boy, oh boy, look at the front grille of the Clark car.
And that is definitely a sign you've been up front battling with 2 and 3 cars wide sometimes, as the rubber buildup on that car is just absolutely insane. It's still pretty bad on the 48 of Matt Cherry, but obviously blends in a little bit more as it's a darker blue. But man, just covered in debris and junk and rubber. And look who's out on that outside row. That is the 55 of Brett Edwards. But Brett Edwards has a major damage to the front side of that car. That is not good when you're outside leading a row. He might be a better pusher, but he is not going to be a leader. And you can see right now how that row is suffering. Now it's going to pick up because the one pulled up there, but front end damage to your car is not ideal when you're out front leading a row.
50 laps to go.
There's that damage, Wesley. You can see, that is definitely going to affect the aerodynamics of that car.
Aero or not, he's still staying in the fight.
Yeah.
We'll see. Look at Dalton Tucker on the scoring rundown. He was a top contender in this race. Started, now he's out of the race. Hank Caston, Jim Westerfield, Trent Barnes, Sean Loddison, Brent Edwards, top 5. There's the guy we're talking about right there. Titchener to his inside. Matt Cherry is there. Harris, Fluman, your top 10.
They're going to stay single file for the first 2, then they're going to get double file for what would be a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, as they're going to just, again, stay right there. That outside row not making a whole lot of moves at the moment. And Wesley, I want to switch it over there. 49 laps to go. We're less than 50 in this race here at Talladega.
Caston out in front, down to the inside. Here comes Barnes. Had help first half of the race with his partner Tucker till he got caught up in the big one. Dalton Tucker's out. Barnes paving number 1. Barnes is trying to battle for the lead. Help from Edwards. A little bump draft there from the 55 to the 1. Opens up the 35 to the inside. He'll pull up under Caston. He'll carry Laudison and Cherry with him as they work their way back through the tri-oval. 48 to go here at Talladega.
48 laps to go. It's the 36 out front. The 48 trying to get up there of Matt Cherry. And here you go. Now you're seeing that single file, a little bit of a freight train going on, except for the 1. And I thought the 1 might try to duck down there and get in between the 24 and the 87. He doesn't do it. He's got
and
to
so
do
is the
something
55.
quick.
Yeah, that 55 under attack as well.
Yeah,
He's punched in down there.
You're going to have to do something pretty quick there. You're going to get freight train because, again, take a look here, and you can see that 5 car on the bottom. Now you got the 48 of Cherry going up as well. You got the 21 coming in, and then there's a freight train behind them just off the screen. So, right now, if I'm the 1, the 55, and the 48, I want to get down to the bottom. I want to get to the inside because that is the place where you want to be right now. I don't think that outside lane is the place to be. There's just not enough people willing to go up there and help you. And if you don't have help, well, then unfortunately, you're going to go backwards as the 55 ducks down.
Back straightaway, blimp view coverage presented by All-American Pools from the chopper. From the blimp, the drone, or the chopper. Coverage presented by All-American Pools. And for the 3rd time in this current stage of racing, the 14 car goes a lap down. 3 times in a row now.
That is unfortunate for him. Again, and that
just shows you how underpowered that car is.
Yeah, and underpowered with no draft, no aero. And unfortunately, the car looked really nice earlier. The paint job looked really good.
Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah,
Big Elrod.
It's not a G car anymore. It doesn't have the G on the hood, so
ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
Should have known that was. Yeah, unfortunately, he still got the Bulldog, so instead of a Georgia Bulldog, now it's just a Bulldog car. But unfortunate for Jake Elrod. And you want to talk about someone else that's unfortunate? 26 spot sitting on pit road. Your pole sitter, the 31 of Scott Wise, just not having a good night. It started on pit road, and then it ended with him earning his flight wings as he went airborne after hitting the wall, getting hit again. Of course, he got hit the wall, then got hit again, and his night went from bad to worse, and he'll probably end up just backing it up and trying to forget about this one.
Yeah, don't forget a minor schedule of broadcasts, just like last week for Thanksgiving, the same for the upcoming week here for LSR TV and CRN Sports. Of course, we have coverage here tonight for the playoffs of Talladega, for the Ezra Pro Thunder drivers in the playoffs here at Talladega tonight. Wednesday, we'll have coverage at 9 p.m. Eastern for the S&B Cup Series presented by Appalachian Hauler Hunters. They'll be in action. In addition to that, I'm thinking of what we got going up on Friday night, the virtual Snowflake 100 for the, I believe it is the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products, sanctioned. And it will be the pro late models for 100 laps at Five Flags Speedway. Unfortunately, I will not be there for that broadcast. I'll be there with you Wednesday, but not for the race on Friday. Greg Rentz and Charles will probably handle that one. And then we take off until Sunday. And that's going to be a big one from the virtual Five Flags Speedway, from the real one in the Snowball Derby. The virtual Snowball Derby. 300 laps for the super late models at Five Flags Speedway, just like the real supers. The virtual super late models of the iRacing Northwest Tour presented by Joe's Racing Products will be in action 10:30. Well, actually, it's around 10:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Central, 7:15 Pacific on Sunday night. There's your upcoming schedule on LSR TV and CRN Sports.
Yeah, it is definitely a slim night or slim week here. Next week won't be much better either, as some of these guys taking off multiple weeks again. We're coming down pit road, but yeah, we have a slim schedule here due to week 13, and of course, the 35 hammers the outside wall.
Oh no!
Or pit wall, sorry, not in the outside wall. That is not good for Jim Westerfield, as he had a really good run and just decided the car wanted to break loose, and he hammers that pit wall hard.
And
that
the question is,
harder.
and the question is, Charles, he might be getting an EOL penalty because he might have been speeding onto the entrance of pit road.
Yeah, he very well could have been as he came down. And again, that would just add insult to injury if he gets caught speeding on pit road as well. A lot of people coming down here, or have come down anyway. Excuse me. The one car that has not come down here, Casey Clark, and I stand corrected, he's coming down now
yes,
in
he
that
is.
number
Give it up the
39
lead.
machine. And he made it 30 laps, by the way, Wesley, so he could go exactly 30. As there's 42 to go, that means we're going to have to pit again with about 12 laps to go. This could get real interesting to see if these guys can make it. And again, if we get a caution in, say, 10 laps, that would seal it. I guarantee you, if they caution him out in about 10 laps, everybody's going to come down. They're going to get tires and fuel, and that would be your money stop.
Yes, it would be. Unless we start getting more cautions and more cautions. And here's the thing you got to think about as well. When do you come down to the pit lane? And who do you come down to pit lane with? Because you do not want to be a sitting duck on your own making these pit stops.
Yeah, you definitely do not want to be on your own, and that's what happened to the 39 there of Casey Clark. He was the Lone Ranger, and the Lone Ranger used to be a good thing. And in this case, it's not a bad thing, or it's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. Oh, did you see the 48 get loose there of Matt Cherry? He absolutely had that car just wiggling sideways, and there goes the 39 right there. By himself, and they already put him a lap down.
$40 laps to go when they come to the Trioval this time by. There is Matt Cherry, Lovett, Caston, names that honestly we mentioned. Brian Wirtz, they have been in the back. And now they're starting to come to the front. Was that the strategy?
I definitely think it was. I mentioned it earlier. These guys, what the heck are they doing? Why are they in the back? Now we know. I think it was all strategy, just to sit back, hang tight. Although you see the 41 has damage there on the backside. I don't know if it's going to hurt him too terribly much, as we'll see. If we go to Matt Cherry, and let's go to his roll bar, and you can see that damage right there. The splitter's not too badly damaged. It's not pretty. The bottom side of the car is more damaged than the top, so it may not affect him too terribly much here, Wesley.
The National Alliance of Mental Illness, number 41 from Bristol, Tennessee, Matt Lovett. The all-time winner right now in this season. What an impressive first, or for the regular season. I think out of 10 races, he was 5 for 5, at least one half. Of course, that big win for him at his hometown track at Bristol Motor Speedway. Nobody will ever forget that one. That was a big win for him. And now he sits in second. Hank Caston in the 36 car. Now, Charles, I don't think Hank's pitted yet.
He was down, 6 laps ago was his last pit stop.
He pitted in the first segment then.
Yeah.
Then it cycled back around for Hank Caston because he was leading when everybody, started to pit.
Yeah, so everybody has pitted now. We're seeing the top about 10 drivers have about 6 laps. Then from 11 through, well, really about the top 15 have about 6 laps. And then you've got some towards the back that have 4 and a couple with 7. One driver that's on a totally different strategy here is Art Moline in the number 15 machine. He's 26 laps on his run. So still not going to be able to make it, but his money stop's going to be coming up way sooner than everybody else's. But of course, he is 9 laps down, so it would take pretty much a miracle to get him a chance to win this race. Is unfortunately 9 laps down with 37 to go. That is almost unrecoverable at that point.
And remember, we're still thinking they're going to have to pit with around 12 to 10 laps to go. And that's if we get no cautions, because we've only had 2 yellow flags in this race. We had the caution with Matt Cherry, who's now in 3rd, the October Talladega winner, the debut of Ezra on LSR TV and CRN Sports. If you remember, Charles, that was a pretty wild race.
Yeah, it definitely was a wild race for sure. This one has been good, not wild, but it's been good thus far. And everybody putting on, just a heck of a show, a clean show at that. For Talladega, this has been probably one of the cleanest Talladega races I've seen in quite some time.
It's not over yet, though. And by the way, we did have the big one. We had what could be probably labeled as the big one. Taking out the pole car, 31 Scott Wise, after pirouetting through the air, flipping several times from the top of the banking, 5 stories down to the bottom of the apron on the grass, and ending his night. And now a new cast of characters at the top 5, including Hank Caston, Matt Jordan, Barry now. We're mentioning the 53 car, along with Anthony Fitchner behind the top 3. All beginning to make a run after Caston. And there goes Josh Klinger. That's where that big wreck started with the man out of Durham, North Carolina, where I reside from. Klinger hung up under a lap car as well.
And I want to point out, I talked about he didn't have his partner anymore. Trent Barnes. There he is right there. He is on the lead lap in 16th place, but he is borderline going a lap down as he's working with the 24 of Sean Laudison. But again, there's those 2 right there. The 1, and then you go to the leader, Hank Caston. They're on the backstretch too. So he is on the lead lap, but he is very, very close to going a lap down. He is going to need a caution to be able to get back around, because even if he has a fast car, Wesley, you know this, and everybody out there who knows plate racing knows it. If you've got 10 to 12 cars running single file versus 2, it doesn't matter how good your car is. It is not going to be good enough to hold off that field.
That's right. 33 laps to go this time by, but they come to the start-finish line right now. More lap traffic in the way. There you see those cars we were talking about earlier. Front runners, Greg Barnes, Sean Laudison. Now they're under attack, going a lap down in front of the leader. Here comes Caston. And you see what we were talking about. 2 cars cannot overpower a pack. And look at how fast they get past.
Just incredibly how quickly they're going to get lapped there, and both of them going a lap down. They're going to hang together. That is their only shot, really, to have any momentum, is to stay together. And the good news for them is, I believe that was at the 39. Yes, it is. Casey Clark Jr. He's coming up here in a second. Maybe they can get a 3rd or 4th car and try to push these guys back to the lead. That is your best case scenario right now. If you are the 24 or the 1, to get enough cars to push you back in front of the leader, caution come out. You are already on the lead lap at that point. You can pit with the leaders, get back in line, and make a run to the front.
Coming to 30 laps to go, 32 remaining. Here at Talladega, virtually, iRacing for the Ezra Pro Series, the Elite Sim Racing Association playoffs. Took off last week for Thanksgiving break. returning to action tonight. And there you see Matt Lovett up under Caston. He's the top star, the bullseye on the chest. He's the #1 seed. And there goes Barnes. There goes Caston. There goes Lovett. There goes Stitchner. And Cherry and Moore.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Now look, you got 3 cars on the bottom, 4 on the top. As Stitchner and Clark are going to help the 24 and the 1. It's not necessarily that they're out there helping them, but they're going to push them to the front, and then that's going to allow them to try to get to the front as well. So, this is beneficial for the 24, the 1, and the 87. If they can get everyone up past the leader, one, it'll keep 2 cars on the lead lap, and that's what it's doing right now. And the 87 of Titchener may have a shot to try to lead this thing as well. So, it's one of those deals. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let's help each other out. And, for now, I'll try to get the win. Although you have to make that trade-off, Wesley. You help a competitor now because it's beneficial for you, but he's also helping a competitor that's got a fast car and could come back to get him for the win if he stays on the lead lap.
And the question again, who will be your friend down at the home stretch? 30 laps to go, now being 29 remaining when they come to the line. And I got a feeling business is about to pick up.
Yeah,
Patience is about to wear thin, and we're about to see who can lay their cards on the table and be the winner here at Talladega.
Yeah, all bets are off here soon. 29 laps to go. And, time will tell as both of your lap cars are out front. They're not leading the race. They are leading the pack, though. Here comes Titchener and Clark trying to make something happen and to get the lead. Hank Caston doesn't really have a whole lot of help there from Lovett. They've kind of spread out a little bit on that bottom line. They're not bunched up like they need to be to really have the speed.
You see Caston there trying to dive to the inside. He was trying to close in on that lap car, Lottison. Lottison behind the leader, Barnes. Barnes on the bottom. Lottison, the lap car behind him. Up outside lane comes Titchener and Clark, another lap car.
Now, lap cars are becoming a factor here in the race. Didn't really expect them to be too big of an issue, but, it is an issue, and it's not a bad issue. They're holding their own. But, lap cars that are off-pace, broken, those are one thing. Right now, you have potentially lap cars. They're not lapped again. They were, and then they unlapped themselves. But these cars are potential lap cars that are actually as fast, if not faster, than the leaders. So,
and they're trying to pass the lead pack to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah,
and honestly, the 24 of Lottison and the 39 of Clark, their cars are strong enough where they can be able to hang with them and clear them.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Clark right now is your leader. Titchener in second. And through all of this, these guys shuffling around, Wesley, that allowed Clark and Titchener to get by Caston. And that's what Titchener wanted, and as well as the 39 of Clark. They helped the 2 cars in front of them get their lap back. But in the meantime, they got the lead in second place, and that's what they really wanted out of this deal. They helped 2 guys get back on the lead lap and got the lead all at the same time. And now, if you're the 87 and the 39, you do not want to see a caution. You want to keep those 2, tail end of lead laps fine. They're not going to be a problem for you if they have to run around this track all by themselves to get another lap back, because that is not going to happen with their draft here.
Lottison and Clark, you see them behind the leader. As it's Greg Barnes still leading the way.
Did you just say Greg Barnes?
I did. My apologies.
Used to working with Greg, I mean. It's like, poor Greg's.
Trent Barnes. I'm sorry, I meant Trent Barnes.
Yeah, you just want to work with Greg. I don't. He's like, I got to work with Charles. I'm stuck with him. Greg, go quit your job. But
Casey Clark, the man out in front, Anthony Thitchner, Hank Caston, Matt Lovett, Jake Fluman, your top 5 with lap cars in the way. Fighting to get back on the lead lap in the back, Trent Barnes, Sean Lottison, and they are in front of those leaders.
And
Can the 39 dub of Casey Clark win this race? We're going to go side by side for the final commercial break of the night. When we return, the finish from Talladega. One more time, a look at your saw blade top 5. Casey Clark, Thitchner, Caston, Mayu, Johnson. Some new names in the top 5, and they're still trying to get by lap cars to boot. Checkered flag when we return. Coverage on LSR TV. And if you're listening at CRN Sports, and we are CRN.com.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we'll do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything, hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customer and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink colors. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Closing in on 20 laps to go next time by. And there will be another round of green flag pit stops within the next 12 laps as well. Welcome back to our coverage on LSR TV, CRN Sports, for the Elite Sim Racing Association playoffs, the quest for a championship for the Ezra Pro and Thunder Series drivers. Charles Wooten, Wesley Outland. The race continues here as we approach 20 to go. Let's take a look at the sawblade.com weather conditions. Bottom right of the monitor there. And not really a big change. Honestly, the track temp has dropped. It was about 30 degrees warmer than what it was earlier. Now it's about nestled about the same time as the ambient temperature virtually.
Yeah, it definitely has gone down in temperature. And, we mentioned this off air the second ago while we were on commercial break. The temperature may have gone down, but what's gone up? Well, that is the O2 of Josh Mayu, as he has gone up through this field. He is in second place right now. And, you got that haters make us famous team there. Well,
yeah,
I can see why there's some haters out there, because he has charged through this field to take second place right now. He may have a shot to win this with now 19 laps to go.
Final 20 laps underway. And again, Charles, are going to have to pit. They're going to have to come to pit lane again.
Yeah, they will have to come down in roughly about 5, 6, 7 laps, something like that. We know they're going to have to. They've only been able to make it 30 laps as the tops we've seen. So, there's no possible way. They've been out there for 24 laps. So about 6 laps, we'll see these guys come back down, maybe 5. The last run, Wesley, is going to be about 12 laps to go. Will somebody short pit this with a group of cars and come down here in the next, say 2 or 3 laps?
Fitchner now, the Jim Beam colors of the number 87 leading the way. Anthony Fitchner, Josh Mayu, Greg Clark, or Casey Clark. I did it again.
You call him Greg?
I did.
You really
said
do want
Greg
to work
Clark.
with Greg, don't you?
Hell, Greg Rance, me and him normally call a lot of races together. And he normally joins us here on Monday night. Unfortunately, a new schedule change with his job. Not sure if it's going to be permanent or tentatively just for a while. Changed Greg not being able to be here at the last minute. So Charles stepping in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I stepped in and lowered the standard for the broadcast about 20 notches.
Didn't. Come on.
But yeah, regardless, of whether I raised or lowered the level here, but these guys, man, they're putting on a heck of a show. So really, they're elevating any flaws I have here in making this race good. As Fitchner out front, he's been there for quite a bit. He's been putting on a good show. You look at just your top 5. Jordan Berry in the 53. I haven't talked about him a whole lot. Matt Cherry's been up there as well. He's given us some thrills and spills in that number 48. And they're playing some trickery back here. Is one car may have possibly got a little trick there and went down pit road. I'm not sure, but it looks like they were able to get out of it. But was that some trickery, you think? Maybe, hey, psych him out, I'm coming down, or did they change their minds?
Well, we know they're going to have to pit. The question is when. They got to pit, though.
And one of them is doing that. That was the one I thought I saw earlier. Matt Jorgensen is coming down. You also have Isaac Mock coming down, as well as the 88 of Jason Hand. So 3 drivers are coming down to pit road. So they're going to take fuel and tires. And it looks like you also got Colin Johnson on pit road. So 4 drivers at least opting to come down. And Wesley, here come your leaders.
And here they come. Money stopped. They had to pit.
And
we knew it was going to happen.
And I figured this would happen. We knew they could make it to 30 laps. They came down to 28 laps. So they came down and short pitted it by 2 laps. I kind of figured they would.
If you are going to have a flawless pit stop, you got to do it now. 53. I think he took 2 tires. Jordan Berry down and away. Berry, the October winner. 2 tires for Jordan Berry.
8.9
seconds. He's going to go to
seconds.
the lead.
8.9 seconds for Jordan Berry on his pit stop. That is a 2-tire stop. And he'll regain the lead. The question is...
Oh, here it is. That's right. Here comes Stitchner and Mayu. They're pitting now. So when it cycles back around, Jake Fluman, if he doesn't come to pit lane, he'll be the new leader.
We'll
Hank
see.
Caston, Matt Lovett, Brian Wirtz has not pitted. Jordan Berry.
And they
will cycle around and go for a gamble on a 2-tire pit stop. We're used to seeing normally Seth Frazier or Sean Breitzman pull these cards of wild aces out of a hat for the Northwest Cup or Truck Series. And tonight, Charles, you see Jordan Berry pulling this wild card.
And by the way, Fluman, as he takes the lead right there with Hank Caston, Lovett, and Wirtz behind him, these guys are not going to have to come down pit road. They were on pit road 10 laps ago. You do the math, 10 plus 14, that is 24 laps. These four cars right here are good to go. Their tires are going to be a little bit older, but we know tires really don't matter too much. They have set themselves up by coming in a little bit earlier each time than everyone else, that they have now set themselves up to take this. That's a four-car little tandem there. That is a nice, a good amount of cars to have. So will those four cars be able to match up to whatever comes out of the pits and teams up here after this?
You have Fluman, Caston, Lovett, Works coming to the line, 13 to go here at Talladega. And then you have about 2.5 seconds back, Berry. And again, Jordan Berry took 2 tires. Clark took 4. He is right there with him.
And there's the next group, Matt Cherry. And you also have the one
Trent Barnes.
Of Trent Barnes. He is a lap down, though. After doing all that to get back on the lead lap, he is back 1 lap down again. So, again, he was set when his partner was out there, his partner in crime, in the number 2. And since that bad luck happened, it's just kind of gone downhill for him. Art Moline out of the race as well. And, you know, I pointed out Scott Wise earlier. He was off the track. He is back on track. That car looking like it went through a minefield, but the Goodrich team did some wrenching on that car and got it back out on the track here for the closing laps. But, you know, Fluman hasn't been out front at all here tonight. Could he win this thing?
And if I'm remembering correctly, Jake Fluman was the Darlington winner.
I believe that is correct. I'd have to go look it up to make sure, but
I believe he was. That was when we had the kind of throwback colors, paint schemes, and I believe it was Jake Fluman who won Darlington.
And, you know, my question is here, who's working with who here when it comes to the end? As take a look at team radios here, and looking, Hank Caston, Brian Wirtz, and Matt Lovett. 3 out of the 4 cars right here in this group are all part of Dark Horse Racing. The Lone Ranger, per se, in this is that 22 machine. So you can imagine when it comes down to race time, they're not going to work with him too much. They're going to kind of push him to the side. The thing is, you know, how do you get by him? I know you got 3 cars, but if you go to take to the outside, he's just going to jump up there with you. So how are they going to get by this guy?
Can you say a sitting duck? 10 laps to go here in the Created by Christina 385.
10 laps to go as well.
Blumen, Caston, Lovett, Wirtz teammates in the top 2 through 4. Perry has now clearing, trying to get by Berry for 5th, but they are losing ground. The interval is now almost 4.5 seconds back to Berry, who took 2 tires in 5th. I don't know if that gamble worked.
Yeah,
Unless he's thinking that the top 4 are going to crash each other, and he's going to be there licking his chops, ready to pounce at it.
And not sure what he is doing. He pulls it all the way to the top side of the track, and there he's just going to get out of the way. He knows these guys are past her.
Yeah, I think he realized that he made a boo-boo here.
Yeah, he definitely made a boo-boo. That is one boo-boo he'll have to live with.
That strategy, not saying it was bad. Here comes Fluman up on the outside. Leader, Charlotte winner, Hank Caston to the lead.
And interesting, he just slid up the track and let these guys go. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. He just slid up and let them go, and has pretty much significantly lost the draft of these 3. That is 1, 2, 3 for Dark Horse Racing right now. If they can manage to get the win and 2nd and 3rd. Here in Spark Crack, because I do believe this team was at one point on probation here, if I'm not mistaken. with it, but to go 1, 2, 3 for your team at a super speedway plate track, that's a tough task to accomplish, Wesley.
That would be shades of like what Hendrick did at the Daytona 500 in '97. When Gordon, Labonte, and Craven finished 1, 2, 3 in Hendrick cars. Same thing here virtually tonight for Team Dark Horse Racing. Caston, the Charlotte winner. 6 wins on the year for Lovett. Matt, and you have Wirtz. He's in third.
And that shows you how long ago it was, too. Back in '97, us little young whippersnappers weren't even, around then. But, okay, so we're not that young. But still.
You're unveiling my age now? Is that what you're trying to do?
Both of our ages. We're old. We're like rocks. We're growing moss at this point.
I don't know about all that. Back straight away, turn 3, coming up on 6 to go. Next time by Team Dark Horse Racing. Or as somebody says in the chat, go DHR. Caston, Lovett, Wirtz. 1, 2, and 3 lap cars in the way. Win to teammates and friends, become rivals. And you got to win the race.
Yeah, you definitely got to win it. And I can see the headlines for this post-race article is, it's definitely going to be something along the lines of 1, 2, 3, something. Because, again, 1, 2, 3, and like you said, when does your teammate become your teammate, but a less friendly teammate? Because they're going to try to get by you. Again, they're not going to intentionally wreck you. No teammate that I know is going to do that and still be a teammate for very long.
That's right.
But, something will happen here. They've got to make a move at some point and try to make something happen. As, you look for 4th place Fluman all by himself there. He has got nobody helping him. And Matt Cherry even further back than that. So, really, this is all about these guys. With 5 laps to go, there is a pack coming with Matt Cherry, with Titchener, Berry, Mayu, and Johnson, but I just don't think they have time to get up to this pack to try to run them down with 4 to go next time by.
Hank Caston has not won on the Ezra Pro Series since the Charlotte 600-kilometer race. Lovett has been pretty much the bullseye of the series. Pretty much batted 50% of all the races on the regular season by winning them. He had that big win at Bristol. That was his hometown win, the driver to Bristol, Tennessee. Brian Wirtz kind of lying in the weeds. And, here's the thing here as we approach under 5 to go, 4 remaining here at Talladega. And, Charles, these drivers all in the back the first part of the race. And we kept saying, what are they doing? Why are they hanging back? This is the reason why, to be there at the end.
Yeah, and, I knew they had to have some kind of strategy. I just didn't know what it was, and this is it right here. Get a little bit off sequence on pit stops, to where you have enough fuel to make it, but you can still be able to push it, and enough to where you're taking the lead while everyone else is still having to come down and pit, and it worked out flawlessly for them so far with now 3 to go.
Aston, the leader, moving by more lap cars. That was Wise. Scott Wise, the fast qualifier, involved in a big wreck. The only caution of 2. First caution, a minor spin with Matt Cherry, spinning in the trial after going through a bump draft mistake. And then there was the big one, if you want to call it that, in turn 3 that took out the leader, the pole car of Scott Wise. And now it is settled in for the home stretch, coming up on the final 6 miles of this race. To the line, this time by 2 to go. Caston, Lovett, Wirtz, Team Dark Horse Racing, and Jake Fluman has started to reel them in like bait on a hook with 2 to go in 2.
Yeah, it is just insane. These 3 doing such an amazing job. And again, we're going to be coming up on 1 lap to go. Such a strategy call to these guys here tonight. The question is Caston going to be able to get the win here, or are they going to try to pull some shenanigans here and get by him? We're going to find out here soon. As Wesley, I think it's your favorite time of the race right now.
Working their way through the tri-oval. Making their way from the Geico restart zone to the start-finish line. It is time for the CRN 1 to go. Follow us at wearecrn.com, the voice of live sim racing at LSR TV. 1 more lap remaining. Caston, love it. They're starting to pull away from Wirtz and Barry. Barry's up to 4th now. Final time of the back straightaway.
Yeah, these guys are really getting. Here comes Wirtz. Wirtz going to try to push it. They're going to go 3 wide for the lead. And he's going to have help from a lap car in the 84. I did not see this coming. They're going to go 3 wide, coming to the line. It is Wirtz being pushed by the 84.
Look at this. Look at this. Wirtz up the racetrack. He's going to get help. He's going to get a push. Wirtz getting some assistance from the 84 car. A lap car, if you will. Checkered flag. Caston wins! No, it's Wirtz.
It's Wirtz. Love it and Caston.
Wirtz is the winner.
He got a lot of help from the 84 to push him ahead of everybody else. And
that's Casey Knighton.
Yeah, Knighton.
That's Casey Knighton, a lap car, helping Wirtz win this race. Brian Wirtz winning here at Talladega. Matt Lovett second. Hank Caston third. It is still a Team Dark Horse Racing 1-2-3 finish. But Casey Knighton helped Brian Wirtz get around Hank Caston to win this race here. A lap car giving the assist to Brian Wirtz.
What a race indeed, as we'll allow him to do some celebrating. You know he's going to do it as his teammates go down pit road. It's a time to celebrate it, and I'm not sure if he's going to do donuts or what he's going to do here, and it looks like he's going to slow it down. He is going to burn the rubber off, and there it is, a sort of donut, kind of a fast-paced donut there, slash figure 8 fishing hook. I'm not sure what shape he made there, but he's going to burn the tires off regardless. And Wesley, just a great race overall.
Let the celebration begin. Brian Wirtz, winner here tonight in the Created by Christina 385. Team Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, and 3. And there's his friend, a lap down, Casey Knighton, helping him win the race.
And looking here to make sure, Casey Knighton, also part of Dark Horse Racing.
That's right.
So he got his own teammate to help him push him past his other teammates. Hey, all's fair in love and more in racing. So there you go.
And I don't think anybody is mad. By the way, you want to think about wins? Brian Wirtz has not won in a while. Matt Lovett's been the dominator of the series. And then you got Hank Caston and won in Charlotte. I think this might be Brian Wirtz's first win, or at least a win before we started covering the series on LSR TV and CRN. He might have won before then. But nonetheless...
Well, definitely have to ask him.
Celebration for Brian Wirtz in the 82. Let's take a look at the unofficial results for the ESRA Pro Series at Talladega. Brian Wirtz is the winner. Unofficial results presented by SawBlade.com. There's the interval back. Matt Lovett, 200,000ths of a second back, less than that for second and 41. Hank Caston third. Matt Cherry, the Talladega winner, he'll settle for fourth tonight in 48. Coming back from his problems, Jordan Berry, a 2-tire gamble on the money stop. He'll settle for a top 5 finish. Good run for 53. Jake Fluman falling back. The culprit to Team Dark Horse Racing, he'll sit 6th. Josh Mayu 7th. Anthony Titchener 8th. 9th, Mark Harris. Good run for the 21. And Colin Johnston, a top 10 in 69.
Yeah, and 11th place going to be Joshua Johnson. And that was the last car on the lead lap. After that, some guys that really had strong cars, just didn't finish where they wanted to. Going to be Sean Laudison, Trent Barnes, two big ones there that just didn't finish where they wanted to. Brett Edwards put on a good show earlier, as well as Jason Hand. Casey Knighton, we saw him. He may have been a lap down, but he was pushing his teammate to the win, followed by Jim Westerfield, Alec Coates, Isaac Mock, and Edward Jurgen going to round out the top 20.
And around to the top 30, it's going to be Matt Jorgensen. He will finish in the 21st position. Casey Clark Jr. At one time thought he was going to be a favorite to win. He'll finish 11 laps down in 22nd. Josh Klinger started that big wreck, the big show. Only 2 cautions, and the big wreck started by Klinger. He'll be 15 laps down in 23rd. Jake Elrod, Art Moline, trouble for him. Scott Wise, the pole car involved in that big wreck with Klinger and Moore. He'll finish 26th, 56 laps down. Dalton Tucker, and also a driver that involved in that big wreck. Andrew Moore Jr. as well. Stephen Evasius as well. And there's your top 29. Then you had officials like Kyle Ramsey and others that were officiating the race. And that is the full field rundown here tonight at Talladega. When we return, post-race wrap-up show, we'll talk to the top 3. We'll get the thoughts of Team Dark Horse Racing as it is DHR 1, 2, 3 at Talladega. Back with more coverage. LSR TV, CRN Sports, the ESRA Pro Series playoffs. Back here at Talladega for the ESRA Pro Series playoffs, and it is a Team DHR Dark Horse Racing virtual 1, 2, 3 finish. Shades of the 97 Great American Race Daytona 500, where Hendrick Motorsports, Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and Ricky Craven finished 1, 2, and 3. The same could be said here at Talladega virtually today on iRacing, as tonight, Team DHR, with the assist of a lap car from Team DHR, Casey Knighton with the help, getting the punt and putting Brian Wirtz to victory lane. We'll talk to the top 3 from DHR here in just a moment. First off, we're going to talk to the third place man, Hank Caston, Charlotte winner. You'll finish third tonight, but this has got to be a special moment for the series and the team.
Yeah, it's a great time. I just wish that last lap I knew they were going to come out. Kind of had an agreement saying, hey, we will race it, pull away from that other pack that was behind us, and then we're going to free-for-all on that last lap, and I knew someone was going to slingshot by me, which it happens, and that's fine. I was more worried about the beginning of the race when I had that penalty. I had 26 seconds to go around. I just got lucky on a couple cautions that kept me up there. And DHR, it's always fun to run with them.
Let's talk. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles. My bad.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and I'll let Charles ask a question to you as well. Hank, you've been on kind of a slump lately. I mean, no disrespect. I mean, you.
That's a horrible thing to say.
You won Charlotte. You won Charlotte. And you kind of been lying in the weeds, so to speak. But, man, everything had to work together. And let's be honest here. This was a pretty quiet race tonight.
Yeah, it was real quiet. I mean, there wasn't that many cautions. I think we had 2. Unfortunately, they just came out exactly when I needed them to. But I mean, slump? Come on now. I haven't been doing that bad. Just a couple bad spots the last couple races. We'll call that because someone crashed me is what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, we'll just say some bad luck, I guess will be the word. Charles Wooten.
You have never had a slump. You're the best driver ever.
See, yo.
Of course I am.
Anyway, no, you definitely had a good run here tonight. Getting a top 3 with your team always, definitely a good thing to do. My question is, did you plan for more cautions in this race, or did you expect, just to be the unexpected? You never know what's going to happen, but did you plan for, 5, 6, 10 cautions? What did you plan for coming into Talladega?
No, I didn't plan for that many cautions. I mean, you guys have been broadcasting, I think since the 6th race, maybe. We generally don't have that many cautions. We had a couple bad races here recently, but other than that, I wasn't thinking there was going to be a whole lot of cautions. There usually isn't.
Well, definitely
showed true today.
Yeah, it definitely showed true here today as the cautions did not breed more cautions. But before we let you go here, we know you got some sponsors on that car. You got to thank. So who are those for making that car as fast as it is? Yeah.
First, I want to thank everyone in the military that are overseas that are deployed right now. Make sure that they're all safe and everything. Also, a dog named Hank. Get out there on the Amazon. Just opened up an actual web link to that with my trademark got approved. So please go on Amazon, search for a dog named Hank Dog Toys, and get on there and get yourself a ball.
Ruff. All right, well, again, congrats on 3rd place. I'll be buying Wesley one of those toys. Being said, Wesley, I think you've got it with 2nd place, man. I love it.
Wow.
Oh, hang on, I just want to say one other thing real quick, you guys don't mind. I just want to thank everyone else who I race with besides the top 2 guys. I appreciate them for sucking so bad tonight and giving me the 3rd place. Much appreciated.
Hey, there you go. There's 3rd place. Hank Caston, high spirits again. Team Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, and 3 here at Talladega. We continue the post-race wrap-up. Runner-up, Matt Lovett from Bristol, Tennessee, in the number 41 machine. Matt, pretty much the number 1 seed, honestly, for the Ezra Pro Series playoffs. What's your take of this race and the finish and Dark Horse Racing 1, 2, 3?
Let's be honest here. Coming into this race, you already knew the HR was going to take 1, 2, 3. We tried to get the 4th, but unfortunately, Casey came a little behind there. But he tried to make up. I'm not really sure what happened to him, but he ended up was there at the wrong time to help Mr. Wirtz out there to win that race. I was like, you got to be kidding me, because I was going to win this race, but no. Unfortunately, Casey decided to make his way back to us and help him win the race. But congrats to him and the whole DHR team.
Did you know that Casey was going to hook up with Brian?
The funny thing is, I didn't. Well, I had a hitch, and then Brian told us at the end, yeah, it's a good thing I got a keyboard here so I can message him to push me. Thanks, Casey.
Well, there you have it. Keyboards coming into play here. I never thought I'd see that one. I'm not going to lie. No offense to Wirtz or Caston, but I was rooting for Lovett. And, the reasoning behind it has nothing to do with this race. It's that his profile picture has a Tony Stewart hat on it. Therefore, I got to go for him. So, yeah, you had a good run here. You had a good shot to win. We watched all 3 of you. We talked about you early in the race, said, I don't know what they're doing back here. This isn't where they're typically at. And then, of course, at the end, y'all were 10 laps on your tires. Everyone else had 1 or 2. You definitely changed up the pit strategy. Was that part of the plan here tonight, to get a little bit off everybody and then be there at the end?
Did you see the way they were racing? We didn't want to be near that. We didn't want to be near that, so we definitely pitted early. We knew we could have gone another 10 laps or so, but the plan was to sneak off without letting anybody know. It worked perfectly. We had 1 Flumen, which was okay, and we just wanted to line up and get going, and that's what we did. And it was we accomplished the task. Brian ended up in victory lane somehow. Thanks, Casey. And Charles, you're the reason why I lost, because you're rooting for me. I appreciate that, buddy. But hey. No, in all, it's a great race. You come in here with the number 1 spot. You don't want to get wrecked out in one of these, and it's very, very easy to do.
First off, I will go on the record here for all the fans out there watching. I did not pick him until after the race was over. because if I had rooted for him during the race, we all know what would happen. He would end up in the catch pit somewhere because we have a bad curse. You finished the race, so we did good for you. But regardless of our curse happening or not, you get second, and we know you got some sponsors on that Dark Horse or Racing number 41.
Yeah, National Alliance on Mental Illness, a great organization. I've got anyone that feels any need to self-harm themselves, a number that anyone can call. Jasper Engines is on board on the deck lid. I want to thank my teammates, Brian Wirtz, Hank Caston, Casey Knight. Well, not really Casey tonight, but I want to thank all of them. Thank Brandon for putting this on, you guys for broadcasting it. Let's go on next week.
All right, there's the thoughts of Matt Lovett. Again, the 41 out of Bristol, Tennessee. He will settle for the bridesmaid position. Second spot, though, for Team Dark Horse Racing. Finally, to victory lane with the assist of help from Casey Knighton. Lap car, the winner, Brian Wirtz in 82. Brian, congratulations to you, bud. Man, you got 4 teammates, and your lap buddy went with you. What's your thoughts of the race and the finish?
That was a pretty fun race. Yeah, I'll give a big thank you to Casey. I figured on that last lap I could lean back a bit and get a run, but they're in VR and they don't got a keyboard, so I just, quietly asked for some help, and he gave me a big shove down the front to give me the win there. But overall, good race. Strategy kind of developed partway through the last few plate tracks that we've run here in the league is come down to either fuel strategy or something more along the lines of strategy rather than like a skill type of win in pack racing. So went a little bit outside the box and figured out how much fuel needed to be in the car for the gas man to not need to go over the wall again for another can of gas. So we ended up in front of the pack, and if you stay tight enough, you're faster than that whole pack because they're fighting for positions.
Oh, an amazing racer. Well, again, just a handful of cautions. It was a great race. You used strategy that I've never heard of using before here, and that's, well, just outdo your own teammates with using a keyboard to message another teammate. Either way, you use everything at your disposal, and it's all legal, and that makes it a fair and square win. But what a win for you here. You pick it up at Talladega. And again, this isn't one of those that you just got lucky in one. You use strategy and you get the win. So in knowing that it wasn't just everyone else wrecked out and you got the win, does it make a plate race, win just a little bit nicer knowing that it wasn't a lucky win, it was an actual strategy win?
Yeah, it definitely does. It feels really good to know that, outsmarting your opponents let you dominate toward the end of the race, because there wasn't going to be any chance of us running up there and trying to fight those guys for position the way they were bouncing around and leaning on each other. It didn't seem worth the risk, and we almost got caught up in one midway through the race, and that kind of scared us to stay farther behind.
Well, definitely it was a good run for you here. You pick up the win. Any sponsors on the car you need to thank?
Yeah, thank NVIDIA and mostly thank my teammates. It makes Mondays a lot of fun. Been sick, kind of, not sure if it's COVID, but it's been a horrible last week or so. So they made it a whole lot better today.
All
right, yeah, good job. And final question, I'll ask you as well. What's your thoughts of a Team DHR 1-2-3 finish?
Oh, it's awesome. It should happen, I think, a bit more often than it has, but we'll work on it. We do really well at each track, but I really want to hammer it home that we're the best. That was our agreement before the interview. We'll make it the best.
All right, Brian Wirtz, again, winner in the number 82 machine. So only 2 caution flags stopping this event, and when it's all said and done, a help from a lap car teammate, Casey Knighton, giving the punt to Brian Wirtz to get around Matt Lovett, Hank Caston falling back to second and third, and it's still a Team Dark Horse Racing 1-2-3 finish. A good show here for the Ezra Pro Series as they'll get ready for racing next week. Where are we at next week?
A racetrack.
We're at a racetrack next week.
I'm not sure.
We'll have to look at the schedule there, and we'll be back next Monday. Now, my intentions is I fly back from Pensacola from the Snowball Derby, and hopefully my plane will land at a decent time to be able to get there. Maybe Charles and Craig might cover the first half of the race or the first part of the race until I arrive, but I definitely will be here next Monday night, God willing. Final thoughts, Charles. Team DHR 1-2-3 finish in a very minor show here at Talladega. Not disappointing by no means of the imagination. Still a lot of excitement, but just not the crazy yellow flag calamity that sometimes this track provides.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good race, a clean race. Like you said, you can't complain with a nice, clean race. Had some good racing in there, some 2, some 3 wide. One fairly decent wreck. I won't call it a big one, but it was fairly good size. We'll call it the medium one here tonight. That wiped out a few cars, but overall still a good, clean race. And we look forward to next week.
All right, so that's going to wrap up our coverage here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. Congratulations to Team Dark Horse Racing and the number 82 of Brian Wirtz, winner here tonight for the Created by Christina 385. For Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. Thank you so much for joining us on LSR TV and CRN. We'll have coverage continuing for the championship for the Elite Sim Racing Association playoffs. God bless you all. Please keep on praying for America. And again, Merry Christmas to you, as Christmas is less than 26 days away.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you